Well, everybody, sometimes we take the hat off just to take the load off a little bit. But we were having a good conversation here about what it is that impacts our little planet and how Ty has decided to take the perspective of just do it right, help people, educate. I like how you talked about educating people.
Yes.
So with that, we're going to get into a whole lengthy discussion here about why that's so important. Stay tuned, everybody. Welcome back, everyone, to the Your Little Castle show. We are indulging in just kind of a philosophy about life and where all the pieces fit. Given the corporate background a little bit, both of us come from that. I worked for Anheuser-Busch for 10 years and Citicorp for a couple of years before that, and that mindset there. But it gives you kind of a structure, and you can take that and kind of spread that to the world and say, hey, this is the quality of the way things should be done. Kind of bring into people the best of both worlds, right?
Yes.
You like that?
Exactly right.
And
yes.
I just like what you've done. So a lot of great information. We're going to share lots of information on Ty's website here. We're going to dive in a little bit into, and I wanted to show off a little bit, but as I put up on the big wall over to our right, I'll do the wide camera angle there. Check that out, everybody. But take a look there. You can see, and I'll put these up on the wall for everybody, some great reviews for some people who have shown some appreciation for what Ty and his team have done. So we want to emphasize that too. But with that, let's jump in here and we'll finish up a little bit if we can discuss a little bit more. You talked about the biggest mistake that people make is typically trying to do things as cheap as possible.
Right.
And I always throw I hear that, I go, yep, cheap. As you said, that's a mistake because cheap can get very expensive. You want to elaborate on why you say don't be cheap?
Yeah, definitely, because listen, at the end of the day, it's we're all trying to find affordability, right? Things are expensive. Materials are expensive. My goodness. When it comes to things like that, when you're cutting costs on a home, it's going to eventually come to bite you in the butt because a problem covered up now will eventually fester later. It's just plain and simple, especially in Missouri with our weather patterns. Weather gets in the most, water and wind can get in the most craziest of places you would never think. And next thing you know, you've got wood rot in places you never thought you might have wood rot or termites, whatever the case. And a lot of times homeowners are like, well, I know it's going to cost this much, but if we do it this way and not do it the way you say, we can do it cheap. I'm like, well, you can do that, but I don't recommend you do it that way because you're just hiding a problem that somebody else is going to have to deal with later. And that's kind of unethically, I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, come on.
Not necessarily the way
What if you were buying into that, right? And then you were the one stuck with that problem. And so that happens a lot. And we find problems when, because we work with a lot of realtors. They trust us because our inspection process is very comprehensive. And so they trust our professional opinion. And we'll go and inspect a property and be like, well, this is this way because this was done this way and now it costs this. And they're like, oh, how much is that going to cost me? Well, we'll get an official estimate. We'll take care of you. Well, we have some options, some things we could do. But a lot of times too, customers get sold on, well, if you do this to your home or put this product on your home, it will save these problems, but not realizing that in the whole design of the element of that product, some other things that were neglected, and now, like gutter guards, everybody spends money on gutter guards. You have these nice, beautiful gutter guards. They look great up there, but because they're not fully functioning correctly, especially with our weather patterns, now you're getting fascia rot behind because now the gutters haven't been mitigating water. It's all been going behind because the gutter guards that you spent thousands of dollars for. It's things like that, and people need to be educated that when they're spending money on a product, well, yeah, you can, but in our opinion, you can spend half the money or quarter the money and buy these cheap Menards gutter guards. Yeah, they don't look as pretty, but they're more functional than spending all that money on the beautiful gutter guards that honestly don't work.
So education, does it come back to education?
Education.
You're educating people to make sure they understand this.
Yes, and when you're doing these inspections, it's about looking outside the box. Okay, you see this as a problem. Well, how could that have happened? Okay, well, you look at this and you look at that. And this is what taught me this 30 years in healthcare was as a frontline healthcare workers, I would look at doctors and how they assessed patients. And so I started assessing my patients like that. And so I took that, everything I learned from healthcare and manufacturing and put it into the roofing industry. And so, yeah, that's why people respect and trust our opinion, professional opinion, when it comes to roofing and construction.
Well said there. I mean, there's a lot you have to contemplate here because you're talking about repairs that are anywhere from, or upgrades, or just remodeling. I mean, gosh, you know, $50,000, $100,000 when somebody's talking about how they're going to remodel their home.
Yes.
And you want to make sure you're not getting it. You want to become educated. Write that one down. I like it. We emphasize that.
Yes.
Ty has talked about that a few times, but become educated, become informed.
Even as an elderly, just a perfect example, real quick, Carter. Even as an elderly couple, say an elderly couple wants us to come in and do a bath remodel or a home remodel. Well, guess what? Because of my professional background in healthcare, I'm going to think, well, you know what? You need this wheelchair accessible, or your family's health is declining. Maybe if we think about this makes it more accessible, blah, 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 this. And so it's about bringing a different approach to a system that's been established, but it's a new, refreshed look on it. It's bringing a professional twist to it, a different perspective on it, to really bring the best value for a customer, honestly.
And that's ultimately what it's about.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
I like that.
Thank
No,
you.
I want you to share what your knowledge. I'm just the guy trying to facilitate. If I can get you to say some important stuff, that's my job, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying some good stuff.
Or even tripping hazards, transitions between doorways.
Yeah.
You know, just the littlest things can make a huge difference in construction.
Well, attention to detail, education, doing it the right way. I like also, first show we talked about it. If you missed that first show, everybody, check that out. But emphasis put on do it right the first time. No comebacks. I like that. I hadn't heard that one before. No comebacks.
No comebacks. We're not coming back.
We're not coming back to fix this after something, unless there was just something just not communicated correctly and we didn't do it right the first time because you didn't tell us exactly.
Right.
But if you got no comebacks, we're not coming back here to redo. No redos.
I want to see you in Walmart or at the gas station or not back at your home because we didn't do something right. That's embarrassing, you know.
And
Sorry, we got to come back because we didn't. Oh yeah, we missed this little. We're still the professional. You know? Right. No.
Gotcha.
Do it right the first time.
Do it right the first time. All right. Residential is your focus, and you've been doing residential the entire time. Why do you enjoy residential so much?
Because you're helping actual homeowners, right? As opposed to helping, I don't know, a business owner. Or there's a lot of people out there who need a trustworthy contractor. There's a lot of people looking for a trustworthy contractor. They just don't know where to turn, or they've been burnt so many times because there are a lot of unethical, businesses out there. And so that's why our logo, the protection, right, loyalty, all that.
There it is. You see it right there. And so, helping the consumer and the home owner themselves, it's got to be rewarding because that's their livelihood. This is the most valuable asset just about anybody ever owns.
Yes, their castle. That's where they share their memories, everything. I mean, yeah.
I like how you said castle. Your little castle, everybody. Everyone has their own little world, their own little castle.
Yes.
And Tyreka's going to make sure that it is built and constructed correctly with the utmost education and
attention
quality.
to detail. Love. The world needs a little more love into it.
Okay, there we go. We got it all. Well, those are important. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's got to be a heartfelt effort that people put into something. You can tell when somebody's got something involved emotionally, when their passion is this kind of work, because if they're doing it haphazardly and they don't care, it shows through their work, and then the quality's not there, and that's not what you want to put forth for your business to represent what you do and help people.
Yes.
All right, I like it. Tell me a time when you felt like you really helped a client. I can only imagine. Your entire professional history, you've had many times you've had to step up.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's.
But give me one example, if you can, of somebody you knew that they were in a tough situation. You had to step up to help somebody.
Just in those moments of where a realtor or something needs a real professional opinion, or just in the moments where another roofing company will say, "Oh yeah, the roof needs to be replaced," and then I come along and be like, "Well, you got about 5 more years in the roof. I mean, you could replace it, but honestly, there's no need to. It's functioning correctly. You have no leaks." But honestly, the most joy I get out of it is just talking to people and building relationships. And that's when it honestly all flipped for me, Carter. When I took when I stopped making it transactional and trying to close a sale and made it about a person, you'll be there for 45 minutes just talking about their story. And I'm like, oh, I gotta inspect the roof. You want me to do what? Oh, but I just love connecting with people, and that's how I honestly help people more, and that's how they trust us, because at the end of the day, I want customers and consumers to know who they're dealing with, and I pray that that business model never ever ends, even as we scale and grow our company. That at the end of it, people know that you're not just there. Yeah, they called you for a sale or a reason to provide value, but the value that you provided was more than just a business transaction. It was a relationship. It was something built on trust. A number of different things. So
I like that. Yeah, developing these relationships. That's something that we strive to do as the Cardinal Cowboy. We put the hat on. But yeah, you get to know people, and this everybody is well connected on this little planet by now with all of our social media and our interactions and the way we can all connect these days. And so your reputation becomes one of the most valuable things. And it's developing those relationships, like you said, I think is most important.
There's a lot, and I'll be honest, there's just a lot of division in the world. And when you talk to people at their most foundational, most intimate level in their homes, you honestly find out that no matter what your race is, your sex is, your religion, your beliefs, that we have 4 parallels that we just had in our lives that we just talked about. I've experienced this. I've experienced that same thing. And it's like you realize that we're more connected than we ever are. We know that we are. We're more connected than we ever known that we are.
That's true, because so often, but at the base, we're all humans.
Yes.
I've had a discussion where we talked about helping kids in inner city, kids in the county, kids in that are mixed with the different in the ways they connect through sports, and there's just so much that we all, when it boils down to it, we all bleed red, right? And we all have the same fundamental needs as humans on this planet. So it doesn't matter what your background, what your religion is, what your orientation is. You're still a human at your core, and you need to make sure that we look out for each other for that.
That's exactly right.
So I appreciate that. We get into some interesting discussions here, everybody. With that, we're going to jump back into some more fun. Will Be Inspired. One of the leaders that we've highlighted, we went to their charity event, my business partner for the mortgage world, Jason, and he explained to me, hey man, you got to come out to this golf tournament. So we went out there, and we actually ran into some of our guests that have been on our show and are sponsoring this event. So check out what's going on here with our discussion here at this event. Check it out.
Okay. Hey everybody, it's John Fogarty.
Thank you.
You're a heck of a musician on the side, right?
Yeah, I'm going to sing a little bit later today, but not until after the golf.
Right. Summit. Great organization. We love you guys. Great interview we had.
Yeah, we had a great time on the podcast.
That was fun, man. That aired on ABC about 6 months ago.
Yeah, probably 6 months ago. It was right fall, I think. So maybe a little more.
Well, you guys do good work. Tell me why you love this event here. You're supporting Will.
Yeah, so Will Be Inspired golf tournament. Veterans, first responders, 100% everything goes right back into it. So always support the best and try to take care of ours and take care of us. Thank you, guys.
That's awesome. There we go. All right, everybody. We'll be back for more. Giddy up.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me. if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up.
Hey everybody, Cardinal Cowboy here. I want to invite all of you to be part of my new team. No, you don't have to put on a baseball uniform and be a super fan. Now, it would be a good idea to cheer for the Cardinals, the greatest team in the history of the National League. But I'm talking about the Gold Cowboy team. You know, I love to help people follow their dreams and reach their goals in business and in life. So that's one of the reasons why I'm telling you about my friends at My Metal Pro. They help people like you and I acquire gold and silver with a membership that lets you safely buy, sell, and store gold and silver. They make it real easy to get started. My Metal Pro isn't like the big guys you see on network TV or the big coin shops that take a huge commission. So become part of my Gold Cowboy team. Scan the QR code or go to goldcowboy.com and check it out. Giddy up!
Well, there you have it, everybody. We get to do a lot of fun stuff in the community. Some of those coins, they will actually make you a custom coin. So this is a metal coin, but they printed my little Cardinal Cowboy on the field thing. That's kind of fun.
Nice.
But that all comes from what I went through, my coma and accident. Lucky to be alive. And I forgot to mention, we need to emphasize this, but now it makes sense why you have that servant attitude towards life. 6 years in our United States Air Force.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your service.
Love
and in EMT, how many years were you in EMT?
I almost 30 years as a EMT paramedic. I retired as a paramedic in 2021 from our local hospital there in Springfield, Missouri, Cox Health, as a flight paramedic. So.
Yeah, so you were in helicopters flying around saving lives.
Yeah, I've been all over Southwest Missouri in either an ambulance or a helicopter for the last 30 years, and fallen in love with Missouri. There's so much Missouri has to offer, but I've seen a lot of pain, suffering, death, trauma. I mean, and it eventually caught up with me, and just had to leave healthcare, especially COVID. Witnessed a lot of stuff during COVID, and eventually started having some PTSD, some panic attacks, and I didn't even realize that. I've taken care of hundreds of people with panic attacks, anxiety attacks, and I just decided that at the end of the day, it was no longer serving me. I fell out of love with it, and was just looking for another passion, another true calling. I thought healthcare was my passion and calling, but it wasn't about that. It was just about serving people and helping people. That's what I love more than anything. But your car wreck brought me back when I was looking at your story, and I seen the picture of that vehicle. It brought back some trauma. I remember every single bad incident, bad car wreck, patient I've lost, scenes like that, smells. You drive by and your mind goes back. But those are things that healthcare workers go through. But at the end of the day, I had to think about my health. So.
Well, thank you for your service and for your contribution and saving lives and impacting so many people there. That's powerful stuff. So this is the kind of people we want to have on our show that can help us to understand what really is important in life. And we like to talk about those who are serving and have served and continue, and that now you're in a different venture and get to help people in a different way.
In a different way, yes,
cool.
sir.
With that, we'll also talk a little bit about our book here. Did we mention this yet?
Yeah, we talked about that. Magnetize the media. That's powerful. I love it.
Get a copy of this, though, but this is our book that I wrote the foreword for, and it's called Magnetize Media, #1 seller on Amazon. Great outline and information there. But let's talk about how media has impacted the way you've launched a new business here, and so you had to get the website and social media, and I saw some interviews you've had in other places and good things you found. How has that kind of impacted your business, and what do you think that leads you to?
Well, I mean, Google is everybody's #1 source for information nowadays. I mean, you look at where the media is going now. It's like, ask Gemini anything, right?
Right.
And so knowing that when I started out on this venture, I knew that I was going to have to make an impact right off the gate in a powerful way. One, being a website, and two, getting some social media presence on that. We're a little short on the social media presence as we're scaling things up, but eventually we want to be in your face on social media, on YouTube, giving people, educating people, look at what we're doing. I mean, construction, you look at these new houses and they're being thrown up in no time. we're on a reconstruction project on a home remodel. We've been there for almost a month because the home was built back in the 60s. There was no codes back then or even earlier. And so we're reconstructing around old construction, and it has to be done right. The floor needs leveling. This needs leveling, and so there's a lot that goes into doing it the right way. And it's not a quick in and out. It's attention to detail. Everything's got to be done the right way. Because you don't want a homeowner walking on a sloppy floor. Why does it feel soft here and this and that? And walk into homes all the time, you feel the floor soft. Well, it's because they didn't level the floor, because they didn't take this into account, or the foundation's settling or whatever. There's lots of problems that could happen.
And that's why you hire the experts to take care of these things
Yes,
for you.
sir.
Well, I can only imagine by now a lot of people are very interested in how can they get in touch with you. How does somebody get started with you? Tell me the process.
Yes, we have a website, loyaltyroofingconstruction.com. We do have a contact form on there. You can contact us through them, or you can call me directly at my phone number, 417-207-8895. Or you can contact on our Facebook page at loyaltyroofingconstruction.com. As we are scaling up, there will be more ways to get in contact with our company. We'll be hiring an office manager very, very soon to kind of streamline our processes and marry the front office with the back office more efficiently and get estimates out in a more timely fashion, because it's all about a symphony of efficiency. Customer wants it, they want it now, but as long as they understand it's done the right way, we got your back.
Well, valuable information there, and lots to see on his website. So I was scrolling there. I put that on the wall while you were talking. Remember that contact form, very straight and to the point. But fill that out, and all that you can. How quickly can you get somebody started if they're hiring?
Well, right now we're about a month out on projects right now, but it doesn't hurt to get that formal introduction in there, get that estimate in there, know who you're doing business with, understand what your expectations are as the homeowner or the client, and then understand our expectations on what we need to deliver your expectations, and and then go from there.
Well, you have it together, and you've got great presence on the internet. Lots of followers, up to 1,000 followers already too on social media, and I'll put that up for everybody to take a quick look at. But here's that social media page, and then if we don't get to all the pictures, I do want to go over a few of these. But you've got some great work that you've shared with people that you've done out there, and can give somebody some examples of.
Yeah, we do small things, roof repairs. I mean, a lot of Southwest Missouri got hit by a lot of windstorms lately, so people have been missing shingles. People have been missing fascia or soffit off their home. Siding off of their home. You'd be surprised. There's all kinds of things we deal with. We also do full roof replacements. Not everybody needs a roof replacement. Maybe they need a soft washing on a roof, or maybe they just need an inspection to let them know that their roof is perfectly fine and they've got longevity left in their roof. Either way, we do a formal comprehensive inspection process going through the entire property to let you as the homeowner know what is an issue, what is not an issue, what are your options, can it wait, whatever the case may be. So that's the value we provide, more of an educator, and then if there's business to be dealt, then we can work with that as well.
Well, you talked about it. I didn't realize even pressure washing, a valuable service that many people need, because that can
Pressure washing,
get things back in order. Say it's not as bad as you thought. You don't need a new roof. You needed to have it cleaned. How often do people say
not pressure washing? You want to always soft wash your
wash,
roof.
yeah.
Soft washing. So algae growth. Pretty much every asphalt roof in Missouri has algae growth. After 6 to 8 years, on the north facet of the roof, you'll see black streaks running down the north facet of the roof, or any side of the any facet of the roof that maybe has tree coverage or less sun exposure. But what that does is that glyocapsa magma, it bakes into the shingles, and it really actually makes the shingles really hard. So after years of that happening, when hail hits those shingles, it doesn't take the damage like it normally does. So what soft washing does is it kills all that bacterial growth, the algae, the lichen, the moss. It kills it. It brings that rejuvenation back into the roof. And now whenever you have an insurance claim, now your whole roof shows damage, whereas the north facet, when it does have that algae growth, a lot of times the insurance adjuster will look at that and be like, well, there's no hail damage because it's all black and mold and I can't find anything. So that's the benefits of soft washing. Not only does it make the property look beautiful, but it also increases the longevity of the shingles. And if by chance you do have to make a claim, then guess what? That side of the roof is now going to show damage like the rest of the roof, and now you have an approved claim instead of fighting with the insurance company and having to deal with that stress.
Talk with me, if you would, a little bit about dealing with the insurance company. Is that something you recommend people take on their own? It's like going to court without a lawyer? Is that not necessarily?
Yes, actually, insurance has changed a lot drastically, especially in the light of all the floods, all the fires that we've had on the West Coast in California. Insurance policies and regulations have changed because, let's just be honest, insurance is a business. I mean, they didn't. You're in business to make money. I mean, obviously, you hope they bring value to customers, but a lot of customers end up on the short end of the stick of that because they don't understand the insurance regulations or they miss their timeline. That's why I say, it doesn't matter who you call, but you should have a professional inspect your roof at least at a minimum every 2 years. That way they can let you know, hey, guess what? This last hailstorm, it did some damage on your roof, and you have an opportunity to make an insurance claim if you want to, right? You can hold off and maybe sometime later, but usually in the first 12 years, after 12 to 15 years, you probably miss your timeline to file an insurance claim on your roof if you do have hail damage. And there's a high likelihood that the insurance company is going to deny that claim because they're going to write it off as wear and tear. It's just, that's the game they play. And so you as the homeowner, you have to be astute and on your due diligence because a roof replacement is not cheap. It is not cheap by any means. So
Yeah, and by the time it's worn and torn, then they're saying, hey, this is damage.
yeah, and you might have to pay out of pocket.
Why should we pay for that? Something you didn't properly maintain it is what it boils
Yes,
down to.
and so a lot of homeowners do come to us in that, in that situation where it's like, well, the insurance company is now going to drop you unless you pay out of pocket to replace your roof, and who has $15,000 to $20,000 to replace their roof? Not many people do. Let's just be honest. So
Get the proper maintenance done. Have an
Yes.
expert look at it and enjoy the benefits of having somebody who knows
Yes.
what they're doing.
even
That's
as
professional.
simple as keeping your gutters clean, even as simple as cutting tree branches away from your roof, because those tree branches with the wind can cause tree rub and knock the shingles loose, and next thing you know, you have an intrusion area in your shingles where water can leak into the roof. So just preventative maintenance goes a long way, just like your car, just like your body, anything else.
As we finish up here, we got about 30 seconds left. You do a lot to help the community, but you have a particular charity that you enjoy helping.
Yes, Toys for Tots. Every time we replace a roof, whether through insurance or through retail, $200 of that goes towards Toys for Tots, because toys were very instrumental in my childhood. I grew up alone until I was 13 years old, and I played with Legos, which is why I guess I'm in construction now, because I used to construct any and everything out of Legos, and so.
Right.
I realized there's a lot of children out there who grew up alone, and they need a good toy to play with to maybe find their passion and their calling like I did.
There it is, everybody. Tariq Lewis. I'm going to put it up on the wall. Loyalty Roofing and Construction, LLC. Some experts that can help you. Get a hold of them. They're easy to find, and they know what they're talking about. Stay tuned for everybody. This is your Little Castle Show. Giddy up.